welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian Espinal, and joining me through Discord is the man, the myth, the legend. It is Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What up, everybody?
Hello, and joining us through Discord also is our producer, and it is Edgelord Big News Brian.
What's up, nerds?
Hello, everybody. Are you well? I'm well. I'm doing okay. New wall behind me. I don't know if it's permanent or not. I'm still figuring some stuff out on my part, but hopefully we get the brick wall next week. And next time I don't set up in.
Don't worry, guys. We thoroughly shamed him for changing walls.
Yeah, I don't know what these guys' deal is. They're very obsessed with my brick wall. It is nice. I'll give them that. But we got a pretty solid show this week. Let's get right into plugs. You could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
That's at JD Cole _37. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That was 4 and 3. That makes sense.
Close enough.
Yeah.
You're gonna make me do math during the opening? Brian, where are you, friend?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at b.esp. And if I ever decide to stream anytime soon, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Yeah. Follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Also follow our theme song guy, Drumfoo, at drum_foo on Instagram. He is awesome. I think he made a movie. I'll get more info on that.
Oh.
But yeah, check him out. He's awesome. If you have any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want to talk to us about, email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com, or you can comment right below, and we'll talk back. We'll be nice, you know. If you have any things that you just want to educate about us about, drop them. If we get anything wrong, please correct us. We do that sometimes, and people do that, and it's also very helpful. So let us know. Also, if you're listening on iTunes, we are back on YouTube. So click the link in your description. It'll take you to our YouTube channel where you can subscribe. If we have had any crossover with that, please resubscribe. It would be super cool if you did that. And if you're listening on YouTube, we have a whole boatload of episodes logged up on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, including the lost episodes that we lost during the copyright strike of 2020. It's a sad time, but we're back, stronger than ever. I think that's it. I think that's all the plugs. All right, guys, it's time to get started. It is time to randomize.
Good.
Black Clover. This is Black Clover, chapter 267, The Devil Binding Ritual. Last we left off, Asta was taken into this weird basement with Noct in order to fight his inner hollow. I mean, the nine-tailed fox. I mean, his demon that dwells within his grimoire. And we get a better look at what the demon looks like. It looks like it has the spiky hair and stuff. It looks like a shonen protagonist in a way. It doesn't look like Asta, which is nice. It's not like a complete double of him.
I thought that it was Asta, actually.
Yeah, he has the same hair as Asta.
No, he doesn't.
Almost.
Yeah, he does. Because it has the hair in the middle, and then the hair splits out.
It looks like they both have white spiky hair, and they're both kind of they have very similar build, I guess. So I just thought that's what they were doing. He just manifested himself, or maybe he happens to look like Asta from a past life, or I don't know, man. That's where my mind was going.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. So upon being revealed, Asta's like, "Devil, is that you? That's what you really look like? I've been wanting to tell you something for ages. Thank you." And
the shonen protagonist says something different than expected.
Well, it was very much expected, but
I didn't hate it.
It's well documented that I enjoy these parts actually of Black Clover. I like that he's kind of very forward like that.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
you know,
model.
it
It's like
is-
Superman, you know?
Yeah, it's nice. He basically goes, "Thank you. Without your power, I would have been dead a long time
Yeah,
ago."
and even that one time you helped me and stuff, and all you wanted was my arm, not my whole entire life.
Yeah, it's funny.
I would have been like, "Yo, good looks, bro. We've been through the trenches together, man. So what's up? Like,
Yeah,
you trying to get stronger?" That's honestly how I go about it. I'm not about to be like, yeah, fuck you, soft ass, devil ass, bitch ass nigga, and you know what I'm not.
I agree.
I'm not gonna. Why? Just
Yeah,
because this corny ass nigga in a ponytail told me I had to fight. Come on, I'm gonna speak to my devil first.
pretty much.
You know?
Yeah, the devil's shocked. He's like, "I took your arm," and he's like, "Yeah, that was the deal. We made a deal.
That's
You
cool,
gave me
man.
power. You took my arm." And he's like, "I guess I can't argue with that," which he can't.
Nah, you just called him stupid. He didn't say that. He didn't say, I can't argue with that. He said, oh, you a dumbass. And now I'm about to fuck you up. That's what he said.
Right?
That's how I read it.
Mad direct. Well,
I read
kind
it,
of.
like, for a second he was like paused. He was like, he's right, I guess. But yeah, Brian's right. He does go like, "Fuck this guy," and then he just uses Asta's grimoire. Well, first of all, Asta roasts him for being as short as he is. So
He said, and
Come on, bro.
actually, I just remembered this shit was mad funny.
yeah, it was nice. He was like, "Wait a minute, you just pretended to be big this whole time. You're just shorter. You're as short as I am. What the fuck?"
Damn, bro. Come on. Asta's supposed to know this already. Short kings stick together.
Yeah. Nah, not Asta. He'll throw one under the bus.
They like stand on top of each other's shoulders and wear a trench coat. They look like they're big together.
That's gonna be his secret form. When they finally
the
get
funny
they
thing is,
merge
the
their
devil
powers
just
together.
shrugging off all of these insults.
Yeah, he goes K. He takes
Say, what ass? I'm about to kill you, bro.
he takes the Demon
Bro,
Slayer
that
sword.
shit's somebody else.
He takes the Demon Slayer sword out of the grimoire, and Asta's like, "You could use my powers," and he's like, "Yeah, they're my powers." So yeah, he tries to like slice him and dice him everywhere. He just fly swats Asta with the sword at some point with the surface edge of it, and he starts talking all this shit. He's like, "You walked right into my turf. This time it's gonna cost you more than an arm," And Asta's like, "I don't want to fight you," but Noct is like, "No, you gotta.
Fight.
You really have to. If you don't, it's either you beat him and get stronger, or he defeats you and then he takes over your body and you become a monster." And apparently, all of the little skulls inside of this like basement are the people who tried this ritual and died. And
Yikes.
Noct has been here for some of them, and he personally put some of these skulls into the thing. And like, Jesus, Noct, what the fuck is going on with you?
That's pretty cool, though.
It is pretty cool. It's pretty metal. I will take your defeated skull and
He's
put
cold blooded. I get it.
put it in my shell.
He doesn't really care that much.
Yeah. It doesn't look like there's any room for any skulls. So many people have died. But and anyway, he's like, "We only have 2 days to get stronger. You think we could do this by decent methods?" I'm like, "Then why were you talking shit last week to the Black Bulls for being assholes? You're literally a devil worshiper." And
So yeah, you're kind of the worst
yeah, what the fuck?
of them all.
Yeah, the Scarlet Witch chick, she just drinks too much. You summon demons and kill people. But yeah, Asta's demon continues to go hard and try to destroy him. And he's like, "What are you waiting for? If he keeps up, he'll kill you." And Asta's like, "No, he's actually not trying to kill me because I can feel his energy, his ki, and he's not actually trying to kill me." And then the devil's like, "Huh?"
He got called out.
Noct has a smile at first, and then it immediately goes, "What the fuck are you talking about? There's no such thing as a good devil, a devil with principles."
That's his choice of word.
Yeah. And
Devils don't have principles. That is really funny.
yeah. And Asta's devil is like, "Haha, he's right. I'm a real dickbag."
I'll cut you in line.
Yeah, I cut you real bad. So he's like, I'm gonna steal your body, and then Asta goes like, just because you're a devil doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad guy. And
What does that mean?
the devil's like, oh, and then he starts to flashback as Asta reminds him of someone from the past, and we get a little flashback of one panel flashback of a woman being like, you aren't a bad guy at all. And I guess this is Asta's mom, which is
wow.
It's not confirmed, but I guess it is. That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe his ancestor. See?
His grandma? I don't know.
He was raised in an orphanage, right?
Yeah, he's an orphan. He was brought to the orphanage.
Yeah, so we don't know who his parents are. So,
I mean,
they have the same eyes.
If this devil looks like Asta, this woman definitely looks exactly like Asta.
In the face, for sure. They have the same eyes.
Yeah.
And that's inside the circle, in the borders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole devil, just because you're a devil doesn't mean you're a bad guy. It's like, yeah, a little bit. I mean, they have the word evil in their name, but whatever. I get what you're going with.
I mean, can you be a decent person if you have no principles?
No.
Interesting question. No.
You need to have principles. And the whole thing is that they're arguing that he does have principles, after all.
Maybe he does have principles.
I mean,
so
yeah,
do
I'm
devils
sure he does.
inherently not have principles?
I guess. Why else? Why would they?
This is some weird test, obviously. Like, obviously, he's doing something right by not fighting him, I guess.
No. I think Noct is too tight at this situation to be genuinely like, come on, kill this fucking devil.
I think Asta got super duper lucky that his devil ended up being another tsundere. So, you know,
Raka, I'm a devil. I'm a bad boy.
Guy, he was born with no magic, but he's born with all the luck in the world. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he's born with all the
His best friend is the king of prince of the Spade Kingdom. Come on, man, that's a lot.
I mean,
I wish my friend was a prince or something. God damn it.
Yeah, me too, man. How hooked up would you be? You know what? That takes doesn't that take him kind of out of the Wizard King running if he decides to become the king of the Spade Kingdom?
Yeah,
because the Clover Kingdom has.
Unless he conquers the
imagine he just
Clover Kingdom just out of sheer pettiness, just to become the Wizard King, and then
his entire army storms into the Clover Kingdom and kills a bunch of civilians. It is like, Asta, I'm gonna be the Wizard King. And Asta's gonna be like, no, I'm gonna be the Wizard King. And they smile and fight over the dead bodies of the Clover and Spade Kingdoms. I'm sure that's
you just
spoiled the ending.
To say spoilers at the beginning of your little rant there, Chris.
You're right.
Kind of fucked up, dude.
I mean, I knew that that's exactly how it was going to end as well, just by intuition. But come on, bro.
You're right.
That literally sounds word for word what's going to happen.
Sorry, guys. I know the artist for this series. He told me. But yeah, I mean, that's all I got to say about Black Clover. It was a good chapter. I liked it.
It was cool.
I can't wait to see what what I found was interesting is that they focused on Asta. If this is Asta's mom, they focused on the mom. It usually doesn't happen. It's usually like the dad, which is cool. So, kudos to that. It's interesting, at least. You guys ready to move on? It's time to write Dark Knight's Death Metal. This is Dark Knight's Death Metal number 4. It is the event proper. We've had like a few tie-ins in between issues, but now we're back.
Mm-hmm.
And we're starting off with another Sergeant Rock rant. He's a disembodied zombie head just talking shit as the rest of the superheroes in the background are fighting for their goddamn lives. And he gets picked up. He basically narrates what's been going on. He recaps us a little bit. He gets picked up by Ambush Bug, which was pretty cool, I guess. Hellions. And, they run off to do things. Meanwhile, in the Crisis of Infinite Earths worlds where the Trinity split up into different crises to, I guess, stop the universes from these chaotic universes from feeding power to Perpetua, Batman wakes up in the Crisis of Infinite Earths where nothing is left. Because in each of these crises, they land in a crisis where they lost, essentially. And on Crisis in Infinite Earths case, that means all of existence was pretty much wiped out. And
by the
Mobius.
What's his name? Mobius.
Yeah. And Batman's sitting there with a kid Mobius, and he's like, "You lost, haha, this is a universe where you lost. We thought of this already, so fuck you." And meanwhile, in the final crisis, Superman is ganged up on by alternate Supermans as Darkseid, who was the villain of that event, is fully formed. He is now Apocalypse for real, and he has taken over this universe. So he's like, now it's time.
Yeah, his design was kind of interesting.
Well, in that story, he took over somebody else's body. So this isn't the Darkseid we know necessarily. It took over.
Oh yeah, he was that black guy, right?
No, it was a detective, a fat detective dude.
Oh.
Yeah,
and he has Green Lantern making a chair for him.
Yeah, he basically can control people now that he has the complete control over anti-life. It's weird.
Doesn't that go against what the Green Lantern ring is for, though? Like, if you don't have your own willpower, doesn't the
his willpower is just that strong. He'd be one of the strongest Green Lanterns ever. He wouldn't even have to use any apocalyptic energy or nothing. He is, man.
Yeah, anti-life.
That's willpower.
Anti-life is just a whole different thing that affects your core being as a person. Like, it can shift your will into something else, if anything. And I guess that's the argument there.
Yeah. So he could be the greatest Green Lantern ever by siphoning everybody through his own will. Yeah, man, that's crazy. That's a crazy thought.
Yeah. So Darkseid looks at Batman, at Superman, is like, now it's time for you to turn you into my final son. I'm gonna make you a nemesis of an ally of mine by throwing you into this fire pit.
He's making you look like me.
I went through the petty effort of making it Superman shaped.
The petty effort.
So,
take that.
The contractors that I got to do this were very weirded out.
This was an expensive project. Don't go to waste. Wonder Woman wakes up in the tuning fork.
Perpetua promised.
Wonder Woman wakes up in one of the antennae used in these crises to siphon off energy or whatever of the planet. She's sitting next to a dead alternate reality version of Lex Luthor, who was the villain of Infinite Crisis. And before her stands Superboy Prime, which everybody loves, I'm sure. He's floating there like, I'm here to make everything make everything as it was. Superheroes suck now, and I'm gonna change everything. The thing about Superboy Prime is that he's always been like an allegory to the fans, like whiny fans, essentially. That are like, you didn't always used to be like this,
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people don't like him for that very reason, because he's outwardly like making fun of, I guess, your customers in a way. But yeah,
I mean, he definitely knocked Wonder Woman out.
He is still Kryptonian.
That was pretty gangster.
So yeah, meanwhile,
he's beyond that. I think he's stronger than regular Superman. Because he's got the anti-monitor thing on his chest too. The same thing that he wears. I forget what that's called.
I don't know. I guess it's an armor.
He's a strong guy, man.
Yeah,
he's a really strong guy.
Meanwhile, the Flashes are still running because that's all they're doing. The three Flashes. Jay is again tired. Jay's like, I don't know why I came.
He's an old ass man. Look at him. He looks like he's getting older the more he runs.
He is, bro. He's literally draining him away.
Yeah.
He's just doing it for the sport of it. And they really should be saving the Speed Force. Like, he needs to actually take a seat.
Yeah.
And not metaphorically, literally.
Yeah. So
that's just my opinion, though.
They're basically,
but also metaphorically and literally.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're basically running. They're like, we're running out of time. We gotta call Jaro and see what's going on with the with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. So they call them, and things are going very bad with Jaro, Harley Quinn, and Swamp Thing. They're being attacked by the Robin King, the King Edgelord himself. Is just like out here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I hate this kid. He drags out Jonah Hex, who just blew himself up in order to save everyone. He's still alive because he's a zombie. And he's like, I didn't leave him there because I wanted to kill him in a more creative way. I have this knife. It's called I don't know what it's called, but it's a knife that was forged by Neron, who's essentially the DC Universe's Mephisto. If you stab anybody with this knife, you just go to the deepest level of hell, and you get tortured forever. And I'm like, God, why do you have everything?
Oh, it's like the Hellblade that Solemn has.
I guess, but worse because
Kinda.
you end up.
But worse, yeah, to the deepest level, not just the forge.
Yeah, where demons take forms of those who you sinned against and peel your flesh off your skin every single day.
Oh my God!
And Jonah Hex.
I must have missed. I skipped that part. Whoa.
Yeah, Harley Quinn is like, please don't do this, and then Hex is like, nah, I've earned it. Just go on ahead without me. And then Robin King just stabs his brain, and then he disintegrates into hell. And
To the deepest level of hell.
Yeah, right now, through this entire story, we have the knowledge that Jonah Hex is just getting his skin peeled off for eternity. So, thanks, DC.
Cool. I never cared for Jonah Hex anyway.
Yeah, good for him.
Well, why'd they have to do him like that, though?
I don't know.
Because it's edge as fuck, bro. I thought you should...
You want to know why?
You really acting brand new, bro.
You want to know why? That's why. Because...
All of that shit.
Because he said something nice to Harley Quinn? Like, I'm pretty sure that all this happened before after he said that nice shit to Harley Quinn, right?
Yeah. Yeah, now
he can't let them have any ounce of a W. That's what's going on. He's finding any opportunity. Like, he's even trying to give them small chances to think they're going to have some type of W just so he could stomp it out.
Yeah,
this is DC's way of showing what happens when you simp.
You go to the deepest level.
I suppose.
So Harley Quinn tries to beat the shit out of Robin King, but Robin King's like, I'm going to talk more shit now. And he just pulls out a hammer. Is like, I know why you really use this. And Swamp Thing's like, we got to get the fuck out of here. Why are we wasting our time with this boy? And he's like, I know why you really use it. So Swamp Thing just caves in. He's like, well, I can't waste time with this right now. He caves in Robin King, and they try to fuck off. Meanwhile, back at the on the Infinite Crisis world, Diana gives this whole ass speech about change is a part of life. It's the best part of life. Stop being a fucking nerd about the good old days, dude. You gotta be better than that. And Batman is just getting disintegrated in the Mobius in the Crisis on Infinite Earths universe, just bit by bit. And Mobius is just lounging yes.
Yeah, this is real easy. They sent the normal guy?
Yeah, just the dude. Superman is getting roasted alive, and he's getting transformed into one of Darkseid's minions.
Calls Darkseid by his name. Just begs him for mercy.
Is that what his name is?
Please.
I thought his name was Dark. I guess that's what his real name is.
His other name.
I was wondering, who the fuck is Uxas? But I guess his name is Uxas. So yeah, Wonder Woman continues her speech, and then as she continues her speech, somehow she ends up right behind him. I thought she was trapped in there, and I guess she just walked out and just ends up right behind Superboy Prime. Superboy Prime, wasting no time, just punches the shit out of her. He's like, how'd you get out? And
he's just choking her up, jeez.
Yeah. I mean, you can't say he don't waste no time, he can't be a typical villain that's like, what? How did you get out here? And wait for an explanation. He just get out of here. They clash and stuff and argue for a while as things get worse for both Superman and Batman. And then at some point, he's about to punch the shit out of her, And then next page, it's all good. Like, I guess Wonder Woman just convinces him. I had to read this over again because I'm like, wait, what?
To understand how it transitioned.
Yeah, because
Basically,
he's got a punch
Superboy.
loaded up, as she's like, Superman, all he is a shot in the dark, and he's got a punch loaded up. Next page, hey, we're on our way back out. Everything's cool.
So basically, she flipped Superboy, made him realize that he's actually a good guy, you know, through words, and I guess a little bit of action and stuff. And they saved Batman and Superman from the reality, so they never turned into Dark Superseed. I don't know.
Dark Superseed.
I can't. Superseed. That's funny. And Batman never got turned into Play-Doh, so they're good.
I mean, I guess. I'm
They
just
won.
like, or did you guys run out of pages?
They shattered those realities. It's all good.
Okay, the Superboy.
Yeah.
Just on
No,
our
they
side.
did a transition. This happened.
Oh, what page am I on? Oh, I'm missing pages on my version.
Are you sure? Look, it goes from here. She punch, and then blue page.
And then?
You know what happened. She convinced him otherwise, and they saved the day. Anyway,
That's still
you don't
not
need to
good.
see that. It's death metal.
That's still not good. That's one page.
Yeah, Chris, you can't see
What
it.
are you talking about?
I can't see it. I
It
don't
all
have-
happened. It's in the blue and it's in the imagery. Honestly, I just feel like you had to be of like perhaps a certain IQ, or you had to just be sharp
Oh my
enough to
God.
see these type of things. Unfortunately, it's not for everybody. It's like when you look at fine art,
Yeah.
see the meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'll let it go, but I was like, what? But
Blue page.
Thank you for that, Josh. I would have been completely lost without that one dialogue.
I'm gonna hang this up in my room, man. I'm gonna get a page of that.
So anyway, everything's good. Superboy's a good boy now. We're all supposed to just be like, oh, okay, cool. You didn't just.
I mean, you should. Would you argue with him when he got back? I wouldn't.
I mean, I guess. I just think
that was legitimate. Yeah, the moment arrived, I was like, nah, he's just a good guy now, and I guess it's just like, man, he can be whatever he wants to be. There's nothing I can do about
I mean,
it.
I
So.
guess. So yeah, they make it out. They link up with the Flashes. Jay Garrick is back there like he's not really tired, but I like to imagine that he's like, finally, we fucking stopped. So yeah, they're like, okay, cool, we did it, right? Everything's fixed, and then Batman, who laughs, is like, no, it's not. You actually gave me everything I needed. And I'm like, what are you talking? He basically used. He rigged the Mobius chair somehow to redirect the power to him. I guess it was like that 1 second he touched it way back when he was first chasing Wally. It was a real Eisen move. To say
I mean,
least.
I guess since he's Batman,
Yeah, I planned everything ahead of time, and then you guys gave me everything.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm about to remake the multiverse in my own image. Let me introduce you to the last 52.
Is this the actual? Are they finally giving us the transition from the New 52 to what we have right now? Years later.
Technically, no.
Is that what's happening?
No. That was Doomsday.
Are we
Clock. That was
rebooting
like
again?
Rebirth. No, they're not doing any rebirth. It's so weird how like they actually kind of a little bit plan to do like a time skip. But now they threw all that shit out the window with 5G. Like they were just like, nah, never mind. They fired Dan DiDio, who was like the editor-in-chief of DC at the time. Was like,
Oh, and he was the one that was setting up all of that the like future superhero stuff.
Yeah. And
Like with the
they're just repurposing it to like kind of a mini series type of deal, but it's not going to be what the future is for DC.
Major or nothing.
Yeah, nothing crazy. I mean, anyway, that was Dark Knight's Death Metal. I mean, I felt like I was missing some stuff. It felt like weirdly rushed, but I don't know. I guess I was wrong because there was one page that was missing from my Comixology downloaded book. I don't know. I'm losing, I guess, interest in this. I feel like they artificially like push things forward. It could be way shorter than it is.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing with the Batman Who Laughs, like this was part of my plan the whole time, has already happened, and that's how we got like the Dr. Manhattan suit thing going on. How many times can things just go exactly according to his plan?
Because he's Batman and the Joker, too.
And Dr. Manhattan now.
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting that.
No.
Damn. I mean, they should be losing.
I mean, I guess, but I don't know.
They
I
need
guess
to
I'm
be
just not
on
feeling
this,
it.
man.
You know what I mean?
They need them niggas to come and help them, bro.
I guess it all just comes down to that. It's just like I'm not feeling it anymore. Greg Capullo's art is great.
Bro, look who he is. That's it. Like, how do you win against that?
I don't know.
Is it even like a presence in like DC Comics? They have that. They have like the one above all in Marvel, right? They don't got.
If there was anybody who could be that presence, I guess it would have been the Anti-Monitor, but he's a little bitch now. He's a big fat loser now, so who knows? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe number 5 will be the thing that hooks me back. This is going to be like a 7-issue long event, so I don't know. Maybe this is just like a little bit of a slump, but that's how I'm feeling about it. How about you, Josh? You want to any closing thoughts before we move on?
Honestly, bro, I'm just taking it one issue at a time. It kind of killed my drive when you said that they started becoming uninterested in it, because I am too. It's a lot happening. Like whatever I say about My Hero Academia, it goes like times 10 for this. You know what I'm saying? Where they are just running through. But it makes sense to me because, you know, American comic sales are completely different from shonen comic sales. It's just, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I feel for them. I'm just trying to stay motivated and engaged.
I guess, like, technically this is a longer story than just Death Metal, because this went on through Justice League into this. I don't know. Maybe we are just, like, kind of like, this is just a little bit of a slump in the story, but I don't know. Something about this issue was like, all right. It is what it is. But anyway, ready to move on?
Yes, sir.
It's time to randomize. My Hero Academia.
Oh boy.
Speaking of,
Yeah. We are on My Hero Academia chapter 287, Mistake. Last we left off, we ended up in the One for All world, where All for One and Shigaraki are also there. Midoriya is in a disembodied state, and Nana Shimura showed up to be like, we got this, young boy. So we pick up where we left off, and All for One, One for All. Wait, All for One, right? I'm going to get those confused a lot. All for One is like starting to talk shit, and I knew that this is where I was like, oh wow, Josh loves this guy now. Because the second he said, wow, a dead person.
Yeah, that was mad disrespectful. Like, you know damn well who that is. But then again, she is just another iteration of it, you know? So I guess it really is like, oh, you got that guy over there.
Ah, a dead person who happens to be your grandmother. The pathetic, incompetent Nana Shimura stands before us. I'm like, Jesus. Did he steal a shit-talking quirk, too?
Oh, yes.
He's getting the ultimate right now. So he basically explains, we get a little bit of, like, information about what this world is, in a way. In so many words, they explain, like, they're in the middle of a transplant, this is essentially what a visual representation of what it looks like to steal One for All, I guess. Like, being in this world and have this darkness overtake it. He's basically like, we're in the middle of a transplant, and essentially he explains that, like, based on the premise that when people go through organ transplants, they get, like, slight changes in their personality or their tastes. So, too, when you absorb quirks, you also take on somewhat of a consciousness of the original owner of that quirk. And that's what this world is, in a way. It's like a home for all of these consciousnesses of all of these quirk users that were taken by All for One and also passed down through by One for All. It's probably more complicated than that, but that's basically what he's kind of saying. After we get that kind of information, also when you have this kind of ability to take quirks or pass down quirks, you are able to interact with these consciousnesses. In One for All for One's case, these consciousnesses like kind of haunt him in his dreams, which is like pretty wild. They just come into his dreams and start talking shit to him. But he's like, that don't affect me, you know. But essentially, he also explains that the reason One for All is able to access this world is because when he merged One for All with the power stalking quirk that he gave his brother, All for One, he created this environment, so to speak. Like the resulting power is the housing of this consciousness world, in a way. Am I on track so far? I feel like
I think so.
Okay. They don't go into super detail because I guess they plan on doing that later. But that's kind of the gist. They like intentionally leave out certain bits of information. It's very carefully worded. But yeah, that's when Shigaraki takes a look at his grandmother for the first time, not in a photo. You know what I mean? Like, and he wonders like why she was in his like weird consciousness thing. But yeah, he affirms his like, don't worry, I hate you too, Grandma. And then he starts using his quirk within the One for All world, and he starts to affect it, and it starts to make it a little easier for them to steal One for All. And usually, only people One for All can affect this world in any way. But Shigaraki's hatred is so strong that he's able to influence it as well. But Shigaraki's attacks are not discriminate because he starts to unleash him on All for One, and One for All is like, "Whoops! I nearly forgot you hate me too."
Yeah, he started getting hit by the erasure as well, right?
Yeah, and he's like, "Good thing," but that's good in the new symbol Pillar of Terror, and that's when All for One's brother comes through, and he's like, I'm here to protect Midoriya. We will follow him into nothing, into any battle, you know. Shigaraki, once he shows up, like One for All starts to like fight back even harder because he is the original one. It's assumed that he has like the most power in this world. So you know, All for One tries to like use his power and combine it with Shigaraki's. And he starts talking shit about Midoriya too. He's like, you shouldn't have given this power to this boy. He's weak and he couldn't protect anybody. So why'd you give it to him? And essentially, One for All's owner, I guess we'll call him One for All for now. He's basically like, it wasn't a waste to give him these powers because, you know, he's a great guy, essentially. He's a very good boy who fights tooth and nail for others. He'll throw his own body into the fire to protect anybody. You know, and that's why we will follow him. Our powers is his. And, like, Midoriya starts to, like, blast forward, it seems. Like, he finds the strength to start getting up and moving in this world, and then at that instance, that's when the two separate in the real world. Midoriya and Shigaraki. Shigaraki was just too beat up at this point to really make a difference in taking over the One for All world. And Midoriya's pretty fucked up at this point, so he's just like, please don't start moving again. As
begging,
yeah,
begging his god.
Yeah, as All for One is telling Shigaraki to retreat for now because his body's too fucked up to do anything of substance at this point. Meanwhile, back at the city, Gigantomachia is still fucking shit up, throwing buildings, whatever. Making a real mess of things. And Dabi is like, yo, I heard that Shigaraki's fighting Endeavor. We should get ready to fucking kill Endeavor. With a big smile on his face, like a thirst bucket he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Mr. Compress is like, are you good over there, Toga? You seem to be just looking for people now. Like, you seem to be scanning for those UA scamps you love so much. And this is where Toga is basically like, where do they draw the line? If heroes are supposed to save people, was Jin not considered a person? Will they kill me too? That's what I want to ask Izuku and Ochaku. Depending on their answer, I'll be fine. That's where the chapter ends. So a lot to go through.
Yeah.
A lot of information.
There's a lot this chapter.
Yeah. This was a different chapter than what I remembered, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
I felt myself really looking down and just kind of reading. I guess I really sped through this, man, when I read it last. But there was a lot packed in.
Yeah, it's a lot of.
So let's unpack.
It's a lot of information, without also telling us much. It's pretty masterful in that regard. Where I'm like, I'm gonna really lost it up here and not tell you. I'll tell you just enough is what you want to hear.
So real quick, I want to talk about this whole like space, this all for one space or whatever. So I think like cuz like was it one for all? Is it one for all or all for one? The villain.
One for all is the good one. All for one is the bad one.
Okay. So all for one is talking about how like I don't know why he brings that up specifically, right? Like the fact that he got haunted in dreams by the people whose quirks he stolen, right? Because I feel like that has something to do with this world that they're in, essentially, right? Because it's like they're both the same thing, right? Like they both come from the same ability, right? So I'm thinking they have like the same worlds, just in different ways, I guess. Because like I think Josh mentioned this before the show, but there's like the differences in how their abilities are passed on or taken. Because like obviously, if you take a quirk for somebody, you'll have a world where like this world exactly where it's more oppressive and more anger filled. And I think One for All would be more supportive because it's a passing of the torch. So I think they both have their own worlds inside of them.
For sure. I think that's pretty valid.
It seemed like it almost seems like it's as if it's shared, but I think it's because their quirks are. If it, I think I remember loosely that one for all was something that came like as a package with all for one. You know what I'm saying? Their quirks are linked together in some sort of faction.
No, from what I understand is they're both separate quirks. So all for one, he can bestow upon quirks and he can steal quirks. One for all, you can only give quirks away. So you can't like take them from anybody. You can't like absorb someone's power. But all for one can. I don't think they're linked. I think I think what we see here is a manifestation of what it looks like when all for one is stealing a quirk. It's like a mental representation of that. So, especially because all for one has this, one for all has a special property where it's similar to what all for one has, but it's not what I get. I think it's closer that they have two separate worlds, where all for one can be haunted by the people he's taken powers from.
Yeah.
But
and the other one is obviously because they're not stealing other people's quirks; they just speak to their successors that's been passed down. You know.
Yeah.
So that's why I felt like maybe that's why I was thinking why and Brian as well thinking the quirks were kind of linked or at least came from the same place because they have very similar properties, with the only difference really being that one person can take quirk.
The reason
I don't know. I think this is specific to One for All though. This world.
I think the reason that One for All, like they by their explanation, is the reason that One for All has this world to begin with is because he was given a quirk by All for One. So that strength quirk, that first quirk he gave him, that merged with All for One and created this All for One One for All world, where he can tap into the consciousness of the quirk that was bestowed upon him.
Oh,
because One for All had to have stolen that strength quirk to give to the original user. That was the story initially, is that like he was thought to be quirkless, One for All, but only through because All for One gave him a quirk, he discovered his ability was actually the ability to pass on quirks.
It's a pass on.
Yeah, you can only pass on with a one for all, but you can't absorb necessarily unless like someone willingly gives it to you. And with that, you get all the previous powers that it has. That's the best way I could sum it up, I think. It's an interesting concept that, One for All All for One has like the ghost.
So what about this then? So does that mean that all these One for All people are just memories, not really spirits?
They're not spirits, no. They're
because the way that I don't know, the way that he describes the way that people are like linked to their quirks, like their personalities are linked to their quirks, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, is it actually like a spiritual thing or is it like a mental thing?
No, yeah, it's not a spiritual thing, it's a mental thing. It's like their subconscious is transferred into you as well, because like I guess it also goes back to like that quirk singularity thing. Every quirk is like more than just a power. It's an essence of a person.
It's a part of you, right?
Yeah. So essentially, for lack of a better word, like your consciousness also gets uploaded along with your quirk because it's so intrinsic.
Oh, okay.
That's why the Nomu, I think, all have like exposed brain, because it's obviously very linked to the brain. It's something in your subconscious, your mind. Your mind gets transferred as well as your power, is from what I get.
So does that mean the brains in Nomu are human brain, or like a human brain with a quirk?
Yeah, they could be like a hot
chunks of respective brains.
Yeah, the Nomu are just like experimental, like these big hulking beasts that get, I guess, brains placed into them. They don't really narrow down the exact method of how Nomu are created. That's what I feel.
They're like those Russian soldiers with quirks, basically.
Yeah, like from
transplanted in them.
From X-Force, yeah, pretty much. I mean, they obviously intentionally left a lot out here, and All Might himself doesn't seem to know everything about it himself. Hence why, like, he doesn't have a lot of information on certain users of All for One. I don't know. It's interesting. We had to see it expounded upon. They're really playing keep away with us with this whole like.
No, actually, I do think they're linked. They're still linked, the abilities, because he mentions that. So he says, "I find myself in a unique position of being able to interact with those consciousness, right?" Mm-hmm. And then he says, "My brother also can meddle with quirks directly, and he power. Also can interact with them."
Yeah, because the very nature of their quirks, they have a similar power. So
yeah, so I think they are linked in some way, though, because if they can both enter this world,
well, they can't.
Right?
That was the only reason they were in that world together, is because Midoriya and Shigaraki were linked together physically. That was when Shigaraki was stealing One for All from him, and that's the only way to get in.
Part of me wants to go back and read the chapters where what's his name? Shigaraki is going through the transfer of the ability, right? Because I feel like there's probably some more to this that we haven't noticed yet. Because there's still so much about this world that like they just barely touch on here.
Well, I think now that I think about it, I think there's an interesting little nod to when Nana was in his dreamscape while he was getting his powers transferred, because he sees Nana Shimura with Deku, but he's also like,
that's true,
why are you with me? And my theory is that like at some point Nana transferred her powers to All Might, and that's when, and at a certain point, that's when All for One took her power and killed her. So that's why she exists in both planes.
I don't think he took her power, though.
You would have to in order to be part of the consciousness there.
But no, it's like All for One can't take it, right? Remember? Because I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any of the former One for Alls.
No, yeah, All for One can take powers.
Oh, yeah.
Because all of them are linked to
the brother and and Nana came up because he killed his brother and took. No,
he could never take the original quirks.
Take his brother's quirk.
He can't take any of the original quirks. I'm pretty sure, because they're linked to One for All.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm just digging at this point where
This no, because her showing up there actually is a big deal because that does show that they're probably linked, right? Because how else would Nana be there?
that's the only way I would. What the information we have available right now, that seems like the only way. Maybe I don't know. I can't really say.
This is just a lot more complicated. Like the
Yeah.
more I talk about it, the more complicated it gets for me. I think.
I think it was supposed to be that way, though. I think he wrote it specifically so it could be more mysterious. I'm like, man, you are building
I
yourself
could
up.
dig it. Yeah.
Honestly, the more I talk about it, though, the more interested I'm in. Because before I was like, all right, like this is the thing about this podcast is that when I read it initially, I'm like, this left a lot to be desired, right? But once I started talking to you guys about it a little bit more and started getting more in depth, like I started to see that like there's a lot more to it, you know. And this was actually a really big information chapter. Man, and it also kind of
breadcrumbs of lore. Like
Yeah.
I guess I misinterpreted this as like, oh man, this is supposed to be a huge plate of information, but really it's just like small appetizers, little
Yeah, it's more
light
teasing.
snacks, like not even a whole Snickers bar, just the minis you get for Halloween. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, many sides.
yeah.
Just
And-
bite sizes of information, just to kind of want us having more. Because you
Yeah.
can't. Has there ever been a time in our lives where y'all had one small piece of chocolate candy and didn't think, damn, I could go for another one?
All the time?
Yeah, the cookies and
right?
cream
You
Hershey.
can't ever think of, and not active, repeated, constant. Just that one, you know.
Yeah.
Damn.
One Piece does this.
Now, I
too.
could go for another one if there was one next to me.
You know, it's like bite-sized lore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just drop these little nuggets just to keep us on our seat. It's effective. I'm not mad at it at all. I think it's really cool. I just wish
Also-
you could explain it already. I'm over it. I want to know.
Also, it's like after that, after they split out, it kind of gives more reason to keep the story going. You know, like it gives like sure they clashed here, and sure like it seems like this is where a climax would typically happen. It just shows how Shigaraki, even though he's this powerful, he's still not ready to take to finish his goal and take all for one. I mean, one for all, right?
Well, yes, he was a charred corpse at this point.
Yeah, but it's also it's also that he didn't fully he didn't finish the complete process. Remember?
Yeah, he's at 70-something%. He's not.
Don't black out. Your body must achieve completion. That means he has to find a way to finish his transfer somehow.
Yes, obviously this was not going to be the final battle.
I know,
people
but
saying
it's like it. Like obviously this wasn't
cracking
going to be the final battle.
I know.
No, obviously this wasn't going to be the final battle, but it had like a feeling like it could be, you know, like the way that it was, the story was set up and everything.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a great chapter. Again, just misses out on being RGC because a certain other series did a thing, but it's very good. I mean, left me wanting more.
Honestly, the Toga stuff is
is
just
not
not
interesting.
interesting to me.
I am interested in it, but but not because I agree with her. I'm kind of annoyed by it, but I want to see it get resolved. Because they're supposed to be the bad guys at the end of the day. They're not supposed to be agreeable. They're supposed to be somewhat relatable on a level where you can say, "Oh, okay." I mean, you're not a complete fucking lunatic doing things for no logical reason.
Yeah.
They're still, a lot of them are still kids, you know, especially Toga. She's, she's only a fucking teenager, so she still has a lot of big questions about the world, even though she's not all the way right in the head. And I'm interested how they're going to go about it. But I want to save that thought for next week when they actually get into the chapter.
Yeah. There's just so much they need to resolve here. Like, it's either they resolve some of that stuff here or they save it for later. But
yeah, I'll say
there's
this.
just so much.
With the Toga stuff, My Hero Academia does this thing, like, where, I don't know, sometimes his dialogue's not great. Where I think he just has characters say things in a weird way.
I think it could be translation.
Maybe.
Or like translation
Well,
issues.
that's probably, yeah.
Maybe.
Because he's probably very particular with how he says it in Japanese, which makes it more challenging, I guess, in English.
Yeah, I guess they got.
That's my guess.
A a scanlation of that one page just to see what it is, just to see what they would interpret it.
Yeah,
as.
the literal meaning,
But
right?
it happens every now and it's not like
Not that censored bullshit.
Yeah, My Hero Academia has it has like little nuggets of typical shonen dialogue sometimes where it's like that person, it's purposely vague language, and sometimes it's just like a little weirdly worded, and maybe it is a translation issue, but I don't know. I just felt like that moment. I'm like, what are you talking?
What does that mean?
But that was My Hero Academia. Really great chapter. Easily second place from what. Oh, I don't know. There was another heartstring. Whatever. We'll get to it when we get to it. It is time to randomize. The X books. We have 3 again this week. We're going to start with Hellions number 5, which is part 6 of 22 of 10 of Swords. We start off a couple days ago, 2 days ago, before the culling, I guess. It is the resurrection of Empath, who was shot in the fucking face by Grey Crow for running his goddamn mouth during the mission. And he punches out of the resurrection tube and just is a real dick to Xavier as he's like bringing back his consciousness. The second he just like gets out, he's like, "What the fuck is happening? Where am I?" And Xavier's like, "Whoa, chill." He actually says, "Easy, child."
Yeah. Easy, dude.
Yeah, he throws his like gross egg goop at him too, and Xavier's like, everybody hates this guy, but they have to resurrect him just on principle that they resurrect all mutants, no matter how bad they are. So basically, they're like, all right, well, you're back. And he just is a dick to everybody, to Hope and to Xavier. And we get into the story proper. We start at the Quiet Council. They're all gathered to discuss how fucking wrong this whole thing went.
Yeah, like, whoa, things got way out of hand.
Yeah, we really shouldn't have let Apocalypse do anything. We should just said, no, we put our foot down. You're not doing your weird magic garbage. But, yeah, essentially they come up with this plan because they don't want to lose mutants to this sword tournament. Because if you die in the other world, there's a chance you don't come back the same, as we've established. Like, the resurrection protocol is now damaged forever, because if you die in Otherworld, it alters your personality, and you get resurrected as an amalgam of all your alternate reality selves into one, or something like that. You're not the same as who you used to be. So they come up with this plan. It's like, what if we sent the Hellions into Otherworld and just stole the other swords from Morocco? And they're like, okay. I like it. And I think Mr. Sinister comes up with this idea, and everybody's like, all right, I guess it's better than losing, like, good mutants over this. Might as well let these, like, bad Suicide Squad mutants die in the other world.
That makes sense.
But you have to go with them, Mr. Sinister. And Mr. Sinister's like, fuck! No! I don't want to go.
Yeah, this is a really funny chapter, man. To really get most of the humor out, we'd have to read it bubble by bubble, that's not happening. But
yeah.
Man, this is just kind of Sinister at his finest, man.
Really
the writer does a really good job.
It's basically if you put like.
So essentially, what they're saying is they're going to sabotage their competition.
Yes.
Yes, they're
cheat.
we're not taking that risk.
They're going to cheat.
And
outright.
Sinister's a sneaky guy, so one of them was just smart enough to say, yeah, you can send your team out there. You just got to go with them.
And he's like, I don't want to.
So if you try to do some dumb shit, you getting yourself caught up too, motherfucker.
Yeah. So
And remember, if they die in Otherworld, it's a wrap for you. So that even outside of the tournament.
Yeah. So he gathers his team together and brings down the news to them. Sinister makes a genetic clone of himself to send instead of him, but his genetic clone also doesn't want to go. So they play rock, paper, scissors, and we actually don't know. We don't end up knowing who actually goes, which one of them actually ends up going with the Hellions. This is a really funny and entertaining book. I'll say this. Josh is absolutely correct. I had a great time reading this, honestly. So he walks up to the Hellions and is like, all right, let's fucking go. And they pass through the portal. They have to enter Otherworld through Avalon because the external gate is sealed off by Saturnine. And in Avalon, they have someone on the inside, but he's a real dick. So they had to like kind of convince him to let them through. It's Jamie Maddock, who is the brother of Captain Britain, reality warping mutant, real asshole, and he is the king of Avalon at this point.
Also asshole.
Also,
a lot of those guys in this one.
He's trying to rein in a horse when they first arrive, which is important because it comes up again later. He basically is. They have to make a deal with him in order to get past. And essentially, Mr. Sinister is like, "I'll make a genetic clone out of you, so if you end up dying here, you won't be gone forever for real." And he's like, "Okay, but don't go without exchanging gifts. I'm a king. I must exchange gifts with you." And he basically exchanged this wild horse for Mr. Sinister's cloak. Funny little moment. So now they have a horse. They're walking through, and they can't get caught, by the way. They can't get caught trying to cheat because Saturnine will ruin their lives. So they can't...
Yeah.
They have to be real stealth about this, and they just kind of get caught immediately. Like, as they're strolling through, someone from Saturnine's guard comes by. He's like, "Hey, you're not supposed to fucking be here. What are you doing here?" And he's like, "We're just chilling, passing through, hanging out." And, they still, insist. They get onto them, and then Sinister makes a deal with Empath. He's basically like, "Hey, your power is basically you can mind control people for the most part. So why don't you mind control these guys into being our friends, and I'll let you make Grey Crow your slave." And he's like, "Okay." So he does it. And
yeah, he was really trying to violate.
Yeah. So yeah, Grey Crow is now completely under Empath's control, and he's making him do a lot of embarrassing shit. It's kind of funny. And they get horses from Saturnine's people because they mind control them, and they're on their way. Their quest continues, and that's the end of Hellions. They're just riding away into the sunset. I'm excited to see where this goes.
They violated Grey Crow.
They did.
Yeah,
they really did.
Yeah, none of these guys are contestants, but I guess I'm sure they're gonna have a pretty serious role. So look.
Yeah, I love how they integrated them. Like up top is like these guys aren't chosen, so we'll just make them do some petty shit that they're used to doing because they're the evil ones usually. I loved it. Very.
Let me ask you something. Do you think Mr. Sinister is there for ulterior motives, or do you really think he's trying to disrupt the situation with the tournament?
I think the stakes are way too high for him to be there for ulterior motives.
But it's Mr. Sinister, man.
He doesn't have any interest in Avalon, or in Otherworld, really. He has his interest lies in Krakoa.
He might.
And if they lose, it's kind of butting into his interest. I don't think he has to be and on top of that, he didn't want to go at all. He rock paper scissors his own clone into going.
Yeah. So, true that. Yeah. I guess that's cool. It makes it a little bit more entertaining, the fact that he really doesn't want to be there. It makes it a little bit more interesting as well. Since there's actual stakes involved now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been pretty interesting.
What? The more I think about it, this is my certified VGI very good issue of the week.
Oh,
certified VGI.
This was my personal one. I had a good time reading it. Now that and talking about it made me realize how much I liked it. I thought it was very funny and enjoyable.
Yeah, these extra sword books were all really good, actually.
I agree. It's hard to choose. But yeah, next we're moving on to New Mutants, number 13, part 7 of 22.
RGC, please.
Yeah, you get this is Josh's very good issue.
Certified VGI.
Oh, RGC for the manga, VGI for the fucking...
Yeah.
Okay, because it's an issue, not a chapter. Okay, I forgot.
And if you get it wrong again, we're gonna have issues, not chapters.
All right, Brian.
That was all right. That was fire.
Can I? Is there a 10 card I can hold up? We start off in Krakoa in the sunset. Magic is just looking upon Josh's favorite character, and she gets a call from Cyclops and Cable, and she's basically like, "Hey, you, Cable, you have that sword, the Galador sword, right?" And Cable's like, "Yeah." Like, cool. That's one of the swords we need. You've been chosen to fight in a tournament to the death. Pull through. And Cyclops is like, "We're a little busy right now, but we'll come through, sure." And it's pretty casual. He's like,
we'll pull up in a few.
"Oh, fight for my life? Okay." And Cyclops wasn't there when, like, I guess shit went really bad. So they were like,
Yo, this is what was really funny, right? Because like so Cyclops says, whatever, I'm down. No, okay. So this is what happens. Magic's just briefing him on the situation about the tournament. She's talking to Cyclops, letting Cable know, like, yeah, you got to fight. So, like, Cyclops asks her, like, damn, like, it's a real bad situation, huh? And she's like, yo, listen, you know me, I'm down for whatever. I heard tournament, and they said me, and I ran over here. That's the first thing I did. So, I love that shit. But I don't know about everybody else. You dig?
Yeah, we really need Cable because not everybody is like a fighter in this team. So yeah, basically, like you guys are gonna pull through. Is like, hey, I don't know when we're gonna be there. Things could get complicated. We'll talk later. She's like, all right.
He asked if there was a time frame, and she said minutes, hours, days, something like that. They just said, all right, we'll be back as quick. Like, that was a real subtle way to be sarcastic. Like, buddy, ASAP.
Right now. Honestly, preferably this second. But yeah, they're doing something, as we'll cover in the next book. We then cut to Cypher. Douglas, he is the translator, the voice of Krakoa, in a sense, because his mutant abilities, like, he can pretty much communicate with anything. And he has been chosen as one of the warriors to fight in this tournament, despite the fact that he is not a warrior type. His sword
at all, apparently.
His sword is the mutant warlock, who is this techno-biological being that has been, like, resting on his arm as an armament for pretty much the whole time that Krakoa has been around. It's basically been his weapon that he protects himself with. And Douglas is like, shit, I'm gonna die, dude. And Warlock is like, okay, it'll be okay. I'm here, and I'm pretty cool. I can make myself into a sword, you know?
Yes, Doug, friend. Do not worry.
I like the way he talks, too.
Yeah, right?
This is fine.
Yeah, I like Warlock, man. He's cool.
Self-friend, more time for preparation. This is fine. Self-friend, more time for preparation. Maybe Saturday understands that it is needed. Doug friend.
Because he's a robot, basically, you know? He's very efficient.
Doug friend and Self will work together. It's nice. They have like a cool little friendship brewing. It's kind of like the Iron Giant.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool, man.
So he's like, let's go practice. Let's go practice sword fighting. And then he turns it to a sword. And he's a little heavy because Douglas is a weak boy.
Yeah.
So Krakoa is like... and Krakoa...
Yeah. With a real mean mug in the background.
The whole time. Krakoa's been a real diva this entire arc, where he's just had a mean mug in the background this entire arc when people are deciding what to do. He's like, no, fight.
No, he does not like this situation at all.
No, he wants them to fight.
Yeah, he does. He wants the island to join with him. But he doesn't exactly care for the conditions behind it.
Yeah. So
kind of like a kid when they ask, like, "Oh, can I get some money?" And they're like, "Well, you got to do some chores," and they're like, "What?
Come on."
I gotta wash the dishes. No, anyway.
At that point, Magic pops up and is like, "Hey, I can train you for the time that we have. We can at least work on making you not completely hopeless." And she just beats the shit out of him because, again, Douglas has no fighting experience really. It's not kind of his forte. So, you know, at that point, that's when he goes up to the Quiet Council. He's like, look, man, I just had a training session with Magic, and she whooped my ass.
Yeah, bad.
Krakoa and I were talking. And they're basically arguing. To Cypher's credit, Cypher's like, I don't want to back down, but Krakoa doesn't want me to enter this tournament. If we could find a way to replace me somehow, that would be great, because without me around, and if I die in Otherworld, Krakoa won't really have a way to communicate with you guys. And Xavier's like, man, I don't make the rules. You were chosen, dude. It is what it is, Krakoa. Deal with it. And Cypher doesn't want to quit either. He wants to fight. He was chosen. He has to do it. But as a matter of pride, in a sense. But Krakoa is still with the mean mug in the background, like. It's really funny. He goes through more training with magic. She still beats his ass. Krakoa gets really protective of him, just because. Like, if they do lose Cypher, Krakoa does lose a voice in the council. So they have a kind of a chat, and Magic's like warning him, is like, look, man, you got to be all in on this, because the people that we're fighting, this is their whole life, like fighting to the death. They've been fighting for millennia. Yeah, that 1,000 years. Just like really, all they've been doing, nothing else, just brutally murdering each other. And if you're gonna step into that realm, you got to be ready. I'll try to get you as strong as I can, but you got to look yourself in the mirror and be honest with yourself. You got to be all in. And that's when she leaves. And what's this guy's name? The Emperor dude. He's one of the Summers people. What? I think. I don't know why I keep forgetting his name. He pops up every now and then. He just comes through and he's like, I have a plan. What if I kill you here and I take your place in the tournament while you're gone, and they can resurrect you later? Because if I kill you here, you can still be resurrected. And Douglas is like, no? Weirdo?
Like, nah. I don't know about that one, man.
Yeah. Warlock tries to pull up, and he's like, are you sure you're strong enough to fight me, Warlock? And he's like, maybe not by myself, but with me and Krakoa here, you don't stand a chance. So.
Yeah, I feel like you told me this already, but what is this guy's deal? Is he like super duper strong?
Brian, can you look? I don't know his name. It's hard for me to ask Brian to look him up. Let me see if his name is in the credits. Exodus. Can you look up Exodus, Brian? I believe he's one of the people that hangs out at the Summers house, but I could be wrong. I don't know. But let me know when you found it, Brian. We're just gonna keep going ahead, and then we can talk about it.
I found it.
Oh, you found it. Cool. Who is he?
All right, Exodus. Let me see who he's related to. Actually,
I just want to know.
He's French Krakoan. Let's see. Confidence, empowerment, telekinesis, healing, and super generation. Resurrection to, I guess, superhuman durability, teleportation, and telepathy, all that shit. Oh, he's also a psionic vampire too, apparently.
Okay.
I kind of understood the deal, and now I'm just kind of like,
I guess psionic vampire is that he can just empty your brain, he can just absorb your psyche, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. That's my best.
He's a very strong telepath. I get it.
Yeah, strong boy.
He read minds too, probably. He ain't fucking with Professor X though.
No,
I get it.
So Doug is just chilling in his room. That's when the grass type mutant shows up with Krakoa in him, and Krakoa is like, I don't like to talk to people this way. I would only do this if it was an emergency. I do not like doing this. So maybe he's right. Maybe Exodus is correct. Maybe you should find a replacement. And Douglas is basically man, look, I know you're salty about this, but they made the rules. I got to do what I got to do. I don't want to do this, but I feel like I have to. So, it'd be that way. We then cut to another training session with him and Magic. And he's doing a little better. He's improved, and it's interesting. The way he interprets it is that he sees Magic's movements as kind of like a language in and of itself, like the language of combat in a way. So he can kind of comprehend it in that sense. He's using his power to kind of see moves
So,
coming
yeah.
in that way and read people's movements, which is interesting. I like it.
Creative.
Yeah, it's a creative way to use his like usually non-combatant powers. And then he's basically like, I can tell that by your movements you're letting me win. Why are you doing that? And she's like, well, you're getting better though. It's not that I'm completely letting you win. You're getting a little better. You're getting stronger. And Cypher's like, so do you think I have a chance? And she's like, the truth? He's like, yeah. And he's like, again, if you raise that sword to fight someone on Otherworld, it'll be the last thing you ever
Last thing you ever do.
And there's not a damn thing you can do to stop it. Oof. That's truth. That's keeping it real 100%.
Yeah, Joe.
The truth? Oh, you're gonna die still.
You're gonna get. Yeah, we're gonna have to find a new communicator for Krakoa. That's for sure.
Yeah, and
so the rest of us is gonna have to pick up the slack so that. No, that's it. Even if they win the tournament, if you die in Otherworld, that's it. That's not even Saturday Night's fault.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's not looking good for Doug Friend.
No, not at all. It doesn't look good for Doug Friend at all. That's when Doug Friend drops his sword alongside the other mutant warriors, and now they have 4 out of 10. It was a really great issue.
Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie. This was really effective for me because I actually really like Magic and Cypher now. One character that was the target of my just
vitriol,
completely random negativity, and another one that I had really no idea or clue of, and now I respect them as characters more now. I get it. And you know what? It's cool. I was just telling Brian this earlier that what I like about this Hickman run is that I don't feel like I have to know these characters. At least the way they're going about it now and the way they're being fleshed out in this tournament arc. It's even Storm. You know, I never was a huge Storm fan, but I had a renewed interest in her after that book, and I'm just kind of excited to see what they have for the rest of the Sword Bearers.
For sure. Speaking of which, we're moving on to the last X book.
Oh, actually, real quick, I want to talk about this guy a little bit. So I think it's interesting that like they kind of showed his way of learning and fighting is by comparing it to like language, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe like his way of winning a fight possibly would be like him reading them or watching their movements as if it's a language, and he'll adapt from that.
Yeah, I mean that's what's implied. That's how he plans on doing the thing.
Yeah, that's what's going to give him any type of slight chance. But I just don't think he's athletic enough. He doesn't have. That's really what it is. He doesn't have the skill, the muscle memory, and all of that. He's still a new fighter. You can know exactly what's going to happen, but you still got to react to it. You know, and.
The fact of the matter
I don't see why he can't just turn into a full warlock mode, like a whole suit with the sword and just shoot mad lasers.
I don't know.
At them, you know?
I doubt it. I mean,
right?
I don't know what Warlock's power is exactly, like how much he can do, Warlock.
He's a Technarch, man. He's Phalanx.
Oh shit, he is?
Yeah. But he's a mutant. He's a mutant one. So yeah, bro. You know, the big boys, man.
Yeah. Oh wow, I didn't know
that.
I mean, who knows? Maybe that will happen.
Warlock ain't no chump. But maybe I don't know. But he also couldn't beat. He also said that he couldn't. Him alone couldn't overpower Exodus.
But maybe
Exodus not that
Exodus is just like
a chump, but
maybe that Exodus is just like that next level. You know,
that strong. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody on that council is like, well, most of the people on that council.
Mystique. Come on.
Yeah, I was saying that's why I rescinded. I was like, most people on the council are actually probably that strong. But yeah, that was it for New Mutants. It was pretty great. Next is our final X book, Cable number 5, part 8 of 22, 10 of Swords. We pick up where we left off with Cable, where he ended up on the sword station. It was an empty sword station where he used his sword to activate this strange machine they found on board. And now that the sword station is activated, the Cyclops Jean and Cable decide to split up and check the station for any clues as to what the fuck happened here. And that's when they get the call from Magic again. Magic's like, "Hey, so I'm waiting. we're all down here."
Minutes, hours, days,
The whole show.
Something like that.
So, they're like, "We'll be right down, God!" And they continue with their little adventure. Both Jean and Cyclops and Cable find something simultaneously, it seems. Jean walks through a door and discovers a lone dude just standing there like, "Whoa, you turned your back on it, didn't you? You powered the station back on. Why would you do that?" And she's like, "Wait, who are you? What are you doing here?" And he's like, at first, there was just the sound of it, the rhythm of it, the screams, the silence over and over again. And basically, they were all killed by whatever this thing powers. He turns around and he has this big fucking scar, like a symbol on his head, and black eyes completely. And he's like, "Death would have been better." I'm like, damn.
Death would have been better.
Yeah. So she's like, "What? Who did this to you?" And he's like, "We were unprepared. Not who, what. They tore through our defenses after we took the science lab. After we took the science lab at great cost, managed to deploy agents to the other side, but they never came back. They think it's a virus of a sort, but everybody who could confirm that is dead at this point, except for this guy." So Jean uses her powers to try and read his mind and discover what it was. And she can't get through because one of the first things that this virus does is it teaches you how to, I guess, guard against psychic intrusion. So they're like, and Jean gets kicked out of his brain immediately. This guy just commits suicide right after. He just pulls the airlock, shoots himself out into space. And I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, now,
Wrong one.
Before saying we pledged our lives to defend this world, no one came for us. Damn, man. Apparently, there's gonna be a new Sword series coming out, and Cable's, I guess he's gonna be involved with it too. I don't know if it's gonna have anything to do with X-Men, but
it is. I think Mutants.
Obviously, there's a lot going on with Sword, with that
with the
lady
Avengers.
saying that she quit Sword, and then this happening, and we'll see.
We'll see. So
The future event.
So Jean walks out of there, is like, "Don't open any more doors. We're in trouble." And Cyclops is basically like, "Too late. We did the thing." And there's this big ass portal just standing right before Cable and Cyclops.
Yeah.
And they're like,
And it's looking like kind of like end of everything kind of portal,
As if this run doesn't have enough problems. Now they have this massive gate that unleashes man-eating virus into the world. And who pops through it? These weirdos in spacesuits. They're freaky. They walk through and they're
The Veskors. Veskors.
All they say are cleanse, dissect, learn.
Yeah,
that fucking nerd at the end has to learn. What a fucking loser.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Learning and moving on, and gaining information.
Go to school.
That's
get it.
Hit the library.
Get a job.
Eat dinner. Hop on Fortnite.
Pass the bar.
Get married. Have children. Pay the mortgage.
Save up my 401k. All right, we can do this.
Retire.
So
young.
Cyclops basically. I didn't catch this at first, but he asked Jean, "How bad am I going to feel after?" And I guess he was literally implying, like, so I'm definitely about to kill them. And she just confirms, like, "Oh, no. They definitely need to die."
Yeah, they bad boys.
Don't worry. Go.
Get them out of here.
Blast away. So, they do, and, they destroy these guys, and then more people walk through the portal.
Cable fucks off to go, like, get the sword out of the station to depower it. And he does. He manages to just run over there and just pull it out real quick, and it stops the horde from coming through the portal, and then they just come back to Krakoa. And
fuck Krakoa. It's coming back to just this reality period with everybody. Everyone's books would have got involved. This would have been a whole event, bro.
Yeah,
this would have been a whole entire event.
Yeah, Cable takes his place beside the Warriors. They now have 5, and we get a little bit of a sequence where Cyclops walks through the portal and talks to Magic for a second. She's like, "So, is it bad right now?" And they're both like, "Yeah, we're both on a weird place right now, but let's focus on this current problem." Essentially, like, they can't get through other worlds very easily, so they're going to try to find a way around that so they can keep contact. So, they're basically like, watch over Cable for us. And she's like, okay. It's not like I have enough to watch over, but whatevs. I have a whole...
Yeah, right. I already got to look after Doug friend over there, but whatevs. Cool.
Alright.
I thought Nathan could fight, man. I thought he was good. I guess that's still their kid, so they're like, hey, man. Try not to just let him die if you have the
if you could save him.
You know?
If you could save him, just don't let my son die. Yeah, I mean, this has been so cool. I really have been enjoying this, and I think I said this last week, but I'm so glad that they really are just kind of like taking their time and exploring every one of these warriors and like giving us a reason to really like invest in them, especially the lesser known ones like Douglas. And
dude, I'm still caught up over the fact that we literally almost seen the end of Marvel 616. If they didn't pull that sword out in time.
They nearly...
Bro, the dude that committed suicide, he said the same thing 2 times. Why would you do that? Like, as if he was supposed to know. But he was that mad.
Yeah, he's like,
oh man, like, why? This has got to be more to this situation. That shit popped up out of nowhere. Like, what the fuck happened?
You see what it
they
did
even
to
give
my
a page talking about it a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much. But I loved it a lot.
Anomaly detected in the science lab. Yeah, I guess it just kind of popped up.
Yeah,
that's scary, man.
Well, it's interesting to see where it goes. I think that will be resolved in like the Sword series that's coming, because I know that it's mutant related. So that's yet another fucking X book we might have to cop. But until then, 10 of Swords, still great, still trucking on. Definitely pick it up. You guys ready to move on? It's time to randomize. Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, Nelly.
Oh boy.
Sad face Kaisen.
Yeah, this is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 125, a story about that girl. This is a very interesting chapter. We get
that girl?
Yeah, we get a story, the backstory of Nobara. Our new favorite character that we've become so attached to over the last 2 chapters. And it turns out she's from this little village. She's always felt like an outsider there. And she met this friend. When they were in elementary school, she met this friend who just moved there. And because she was kind of an outsider, she had a fresh slate with them. She would always just go over to their house and play Smash Brothers with her dad, who I'm convinced is now Josh. This is Josh in the manga.
Yeah, it would be me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, you got really good at Ariel. That is me. I'm like, yeah, good. Nice.
Yeah, so, she's just chilling. She didn't really like the other villagers, which is why she's taken to this girl, Fumi. And several years later, they found out this little secret base, which is another person who moved into their village, is this teenage girl. They befriend her, and they get really close to her and chill. And at a certain point, for whatever reason, she leaves. Like, there are these incidents that her house was vandalized by trash and snow and graffiti. So eventually she had to move. And that really made this girl very sad, Nobara very sad. It's the most emotion she's ever put out. And then at some point when they graduated middle school, Nobara headed off to the Jujutsu High. So she left her village, and she looked at her friend Fumi, who was staying behind, and say, hey, make sure you get out too, so we can all link up, all 3 of us, and, just like the good old days, we can chill. And the Fumi girl, she's like, oh man, she's not crying for me like she cried for Saori. Maybe I'm a little maybe I'm being a little selfish and expecting that she would. But then she notices that like Nobara is like this close. She's like holding back tears as they're saying goodbye, and she gets on the train to Tokyo. And then we cut to, I guess, the present time where we meet Saori, who, after she moved, she's, I guess, a journalist of a sort. And, you know, she's talking about the time, like, she's reminiscing about her time as, like, in that village with those girls, and she's like, I was afraid of, you know, reaching out to them because, you know, I bet they'd be disappointed of how boring I am now. Like, they looked up to me so much back then, and now I'm just this... I turned out to be this boring person who just got a job and, you know, doesn't really have anything going for her. And then we cut to inside Nobara's mind as she's thinking about it. It's like everyone in that village is crazy. Of course, that's not true, but crazy people tend to be loud. So it seems as if they're everywhere. They easily step on people's lives. At that moment, she remembers her friends: Gojo, Itadori, Megumi, the panda guy, the sound guy, the weapons girl. And she's like, or so I thought. And finally she sees Fumi on the chair. And she's like, sorry, Fumi. I guess I can't keep our promise. And then we cut back to the subway station where they're at in Shibuya in the present time. As she looks at Itadori and says, tell everyone it wasn't so bad. As like the place where Mahito touched her just starts to swell and vein up. And then it just explodes. Like... gruesome splatter, like her eyeball flies out and everything. And that's the end. That's where the chapter ends. Nobara.
I think she's still alive.
I hope so, man.
Dude.
That would really be lame if she just died like that.
Dog,
I mean,
I can't.
she could be eye
imagine
patch Sand now.
I can't imagine she survives this.
She'll be alive, and then she'll have an eye patch for the rest of the series.
Eye patch.
It's
Sand.
her whole half a face.
You could,
Exploded.
or she'll have the bandage style one.
Yeah, the bandit, like Danzo.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. It's gonna be cool, and it's different for a female protagonist.
It exploded.
She'll be fine.
Just her eyeballs, she'll be alright, man.
She'll be fine.
Remember when we thought Endeavor died?
People are more durable
It
than
wasn't
this.
nearly like
I
that.
thought he got killed.
It wasn't nearly like this. Endeavor still has his other eye.
No, I think people are more durable in this series. Like, it takes a lot more than... I think it would take a lot more than this than to kill them. I think she's fine.
She says her
Bro, I thought
goodbyes.
Endeavor was dead on that, under that thing's feet, man. That nigga was like, boring, disrespectful.
If this was
I
any
don't
other
know,
series, I'd agree
he
with you.
lived.
But people die in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, they do. They do die, but it takes a lot more.
Characters that I like in that play Smash Bros. There's no way.
I think
We're
she's
gonna find out,
still
man.
alive.
We
She
gonna
might
find out tomorrow. I'm gonna call y'all niggas. Watch.
she might forget who she was though. That's what
Yeah,
I
better
think.
read
Like
up
the
on
Nobara
y'all.
that we know now.
Text y'all.
I think the Nobara that we know now is probably dead, but she's probably going to be different after this. I think she's still alive, but she's probably going to be different after this.
Wow.
Yeah, her whole face is gonna be different.
I mean, I know
Like
Brian,
her-
I know Brian had endless.
Not gonna have an eyeball no more.
Huh?
I know Brian had endless faith in the impossible, but I didn't expect this out of you, Josh.
I think she's still alive.
All right.
We'll see.
I'll hold back on the Mario death sound effect for now.
Yeah, save it for next
Okay.
week. We'll see
Okay,
for
yeah,
sure.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
My God. But what a chapter, though. I mean, if this is just like a devastatingly sad. I don't see how she could live, but in the event that she does, I think it's this whole flashback was her just like the artist was Akutami giving us like a goodbye to her. Essentially, that's why we're getting her backstory now at this very crucial. Moment.
I know, man. I know. I hope, but that's cheap.
I like how
It's
we
cheap, bro.
I like in this flashback we essentially get her story from 3 different points of view. From Fumi's, from the Saori girl, and from her own. I like it. It's like a nice little condensed flashback.
Yeah.
I appreciated it. This really tugged at my heartstrings. I don't really even know how to feel about it. I guess, like, depending on whether she's actually dead or what I think she is. I don't think many people walk away from an internal brain explosion. But, I don't know. I could be wrong. Do you guys want to move on.
I just hope that's not the case. That's all. But I'm ready to move on.
Yeah. It is time to randomize.
Bad bitch from Tokyo.
Avengers. Number 37, the Age of Khonshu finale. Last we left off, Moon Knight absorbed the Phoenix Force into himself as Khonshu was in space fighting both Iron Man and Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is trying to hold back the Starbrand baby. She cannot because the Starbrand baby is very strong. But as Khonshu is like finishing off Iron Man, that's when Moon Knight, Phoenix Knight, Moon Man pops up and just uppercuts the shit out of Khonshu, like dropping him all the way down.
Shoryuken!
Yeah, Shoryuken! All the way down to Earth. Khonshu sucks so bad. He's just down there,
man.
like his people.
They need to have a death battle with him and fucking John Johns. That's what I would see.
Yo, dude, it would be the
who's gonna lose first?
It would be the most.
Not even who's gonna win. Who's gonna lose?
It would be the most evenly matched battle of all time.
Like Chuck Norris versus Sagata Saturn.
For real. So yeah, he comes down there. His followers immediately like, Lord Khonshu, the Avengers have come, and he's like, I don't got time for that right now. I'm fighting the Phoenix Force in space right now. I can't deal with this. So, he just like decides to go beast mode and just unleashes the full extent of his powers. Sends a mummy werewolf army out into the city to fight the Avengers. And
Mummy and werewolf. They're not mummified werewolves, by the way, guys. Just
Wait,
mummies plus werewolves.
Did he get spiked and then conveniently land in this place?
Yes.
Yeah, he teched that.
Yeah, he landed directly back into his headquarters.
He got dumped. That's what it was.
Black Panther. I mean, these werewolf and mummy people aren't even that fucking strong. As Black Panther just like one pieces punches his way through all of them.
They're all fodder. Let's not play it. Let's not mince our words here, right?
Yeah, he walks through it.
They're all glorified orange cones.
And then he
essentially just sandbags or just to show cool moves against. I mean, I do want to put a spot on what Brian said. He literally got spiked straight into his own pyramid with his people ready there to assist. And he was like, no, leave me.
His cornermen came through.
Right.
And it's just like, you gotta work on body blows right now. You can't just stay here and take it.
Yeah, you gotta.
Black Panther just like walks through all these little fodder guys and then just kicks Khonshu in the face. Black Panther's just a guy, and he just was able to walk through these zombies.
He's not just a guy.
He's got the primordial power of the
That's
Panther.
true.
It's
You're
a
fair.
thing now.
I mean,
it's a thing.
I guess so, but he just manages to just fly kick Khonshu in the fucking face. It shouldn't be that easy. He's a god. And Khonshu.
Well, it was with Black Panther.
Everybody's just clowning Khonshu left and right. Khonshu's like, whatever, man. I have Ghost Rider powers too. And then,
oh boy!
And then at that moment, the Ghost Rider car betrays him immediately as he tries to get in it. It bites him, and because Robbie Reyes is right over there, he's like, "Nah, bitch, I'm taking control of my ride again." He's like, "God damn it!"
He just keeps getting fucking rolled.
It's L after L after L for him. He's making up for all of John Johns' like consecutive L's. It may be tough. I don't know who's worse.
They're like, arg! You guys think y'all can have the biggest clown of them all? Huh. I got you.
He's getting.
I mean, this is the same guy. He went from being scared in the corner to ruling the whole earth. Like that was a pretty. And then know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They was like, yeah, we're gonna make him fall really hard.
Yeah. So.
And they did.
And then Black Panther just takes the other primordial powers away from him, even though they're not his. He's just like, yo, come here for a minute. And then the powers just go, okay.
Yeah, hold these down for a second. So, She-Hulk gets even more stronger.
Yeah. He basically
even more powerful.
He takes these powers and he distributes them amongst Blade and She-Hulk who already have powers, but
Blade
whatever.
looked pretty cool. I mean, Blade could use that. I think. But yeah.
Yeah, Captain America could just be Captain America still.
He's like, I'm good. I just got my shield. I'll be alright. And I'm American.
Yeah. And I'm American.
Well, at least I know I'm free.
Yeah.
Remember the song?
At least I know I'm
Proud to be an American.
Fuck up, man.
At least I know I'm free.
What a low bar. At least I know I'm free. Like, dog, there's several other countries. Several. More than not.
At the very least, I know I'm free.
Yeah, where things are a lot more fair. Anyway.
So yeah, She-Hulk has the Iron Fist powers. Blade has the Doctor Strange powers. Captain America has the power of the flag. And they just fuck up all these werewolves and mummies some more.
Yeah, they're wrapping it up, man. It's over.
It's real tough.
The fodder, remember?
Yeah, they chain Khonshu to the Ghost Rider car and just ram through the rest of the.
Jesus Did they? I'm just trying to picture the moment that they're chaining him up. I'm just trying to picture the moment where they're like, "All right, get on the fucking car, bitch," and then he's just like, "Okay," and he just lays down and lets himself get chained up.
I'll tell you this, Brian. You don't see the process. He just is chained to the car. It's a given that they do all the things. They force him.
But how isn't this guy supposed to be a big deal?
Not really.
He's not supposed to get bodied this hard, right?
Not even supposed to. He literally was. I mean, he had the It's the Avengers, bro. What do you want me to say?
Yeah.
He was destined to lose to them, and I guess to Phoenix, Moon Man.
Yeah. So the Phoenix is above the Earth. I could just destroy the Earth and stop Mephisto's plan that way. Because the Phoenix Force is influencing him to just destroy the Earth. And he's like, well, you know what? Phoenix Force does have a point. I could just unibeam this entire planet to death. But that's when
to the burnt place.
Yeah. And that's when Mjolnir just flies backward into that big mass of the planetary destruction thing or whatever it's called that Bane did.
To block out the sun.
Yeah. But
planetary. Yeah.
And that's when Thor is released from it, and he's like, "Knight of Moons, you have disrespected the hammer of the All-Father Thor. Square up!" And then he just
whatever, man. That nigga got the Phoenix. There's no way you're winning in that real situation.
Yeah, you got beat up by Iron Fist Khonshu, by Iron Fist Moon Knight. You think you're gonna fight the Phoenix? But Moon Knight just stands there I don't really want to destroy the Earth, so I'll just let him hit me. Really.
Yeah, he just let him. He took the hit.
Yeah, he took the hit, and Khonshu's still chained to the car. Just what have you done? This was the only way to stop Mephisto. And Black Panther says, you failed, Khonshu, because we're the ones we're the people who hold the gods accountable. You are hereby under arrest in the name of Earth and its Avengers. Can you imagine Khonshu just in jail in Rikers Island?
Get in his corner, yes.
I love that idea.
Or in the tombs.
I love the idea that Khonshu, with his big skull face, has to go to court. He has to go to hearings.
They put him in cuffs and all that.
Yeah.
And then just to add more insult to injury, they mark him as a public offender.
Yeah, he has to get a lawyer. That concept. So Moon Knight doesn't have the Phoenix Force anymore. Phoenix Force is really, bro? You're not gonna destroy whatever, dude. I'll just go find someone else. And
send him out.
He said, "Peace out," and it flies away. And back at the moon in the summer house, Jean Grey senses the Phoenix is back, and is like, "Well, it's not here for me, so maybe it's here for someone else is looking for someone new. There will be a calling." And someone walks in from the background and is like, "Whatever, I'll take care of this." And it turns out it's Wolverine. Wolverine's going to try to intercept the Phoenix Force. Which Jason Aaron is incidentally actually has that happen at the end. Like at the end of time, Wolverine has the Phoenix Force in his Thor run. So maybe they're building up to that.
That's really interesting. That in the Thor run, that's how it would turn out.
Yeah. That's interesting. I can't imagine that this Phoenix Force will once again be the center of conflict between the X-Men and the Avengers as it once was. But it's interesting that it's back. And it'll be a way to tie both of these stories together. Make the X-Men more relevant to the greater universe, I guess. But I'm here for it. This was Avengers number 37. It was fun to watch Khonshu just get destroyed left and right.
Yeah, she get smacked up. She get herbed, basically.
Yeah, just...
He got herbed, man. He got herbed.
Yeah, they sunned him real fast.
They did. They little boyed him, man. Took him to the daycare.
Come here, little god boy.
I was excited that they introduced that in an Avengers book. Yeah. That was cool, even if it was just at the end. Like I like that there's going to be a joint situation happening soon.
Yeah.
I mean, damn, Wolverine is an Avenger, is he not?
Not
now.
He's
one of them.
He's a former Avenger.
Yeah, but he's one of the classic Avengers. All right, I know he's not one of the Avengers, but he's had a prominent role on the Avengers.
Sure.
Similar to how Spider-Man has, right?
Yeah, that's why he was like such in the middle during the original Avengers versus X-Men conflict. Because he was so entrenched in both sides. But
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it actually plays out. I'm interested. But that was Avengers. You guys ready to move the fuck on? It's time to randomize.
Bloody cross.
Dr. Stone, chapter 100.
Bloody cross.
Dr. Stone, chapter 169, Risk or Heart. Last we left off.
Alternative chapter. Suspension of Belief, Part 2.
Okay, so basically, Senku decides to enter a diplomatic discussion with this engineer on Zeno's island. Since he has Zeno captive, he's basically like, well, I'm gonna keep your guy, so don't hurt any of my people, or we'll hurt him. Also, here is the recipe for the revival fluid. Wake up 1 million people, and do whatever you want with them for now. But we're gonna have like a big ass labor force for later. We'll deal with that when we come. And the mechanic guy is like not really feeling it. He's like, well, whatever. You still have our guy, and we still have Stanley. He's gonna chase you forever. So it is kind of weird, this whole thing where he's like, look, we're kind of at a stalemate. I have your leader. We can kind of evade you if we wanted to. We gave you this elixir so you can bring people back, and that's where our interest lies. So, now that you have it, just do what we both want to do, and then we'll deal with like the things later. We'll have like a truce among us personally, and Stanley can do his thing and go after the guys if he wants. But for us here on the ship on the Perseus, and for you guys in Corn City, we can just be together until like Zeno comes back. Until we are able to bring Zeno back, I guess. So I guess they're using Zeno as leverage so that they don't hurt their friends. And that's really the extent of where Zeno lies. So, the president guy is like, whatever, you guys are Stanley's gonna get you guys eventually, so might as well do what you want. So, we have a deal. We won't hurt your friends as long as we don't have Zeno. And Stanley doesn't take this well. He's just like, man, fuck this. He sees them coming, and then he takes a gun. He tries to shoot them, but then he notices on the very tip of their ship, the petrification Medusa device is like right on the bow of their ship. So he decides to just shoot the shit out of it and send it flying. But that was all distractions so that Senku and them could get past them in time and kind of stop him, try to, get away from him, essentially. And Stanley's like, damn, you got me. Senku again lied. He said that there wasn't a petrification device. So, it was just a bluff all along. They had one, but it doesn't work. Whatever. So yeah, the people on the Xeno ship, which are Taiju, Chrome, Ukyo, the warrior, the warriors that went on the island in the first place, are all off and have a separation again with the characters of Perseus. Kohaku's with them as well. They all fly off, and they do their fist in the air so they can block Stanley's sightline, and he can't just shoot them as they still rocket away in the boat.
I can't really tell who's with who right now. So Kohaku's with Senku.
Kohaku, Taiju, Ukyo, Ryusui, Tsukishima, right? That's his name. Tsukasa. I keep mixing those names up.
Tsukasa?
Yeah, the spear dude. Mozu. I think.
Oh
no, Mozu's not with them.
No, he's not. But
Dan,
I think the combat squad is there on the land.
Yeah, the combat squad is.
They're not with. Okay. But the Magma is with them now, right? And the dude with the glasses. All of these people putting their hands up. Those are the people that are on the boat, right?
Yeah.
No, Yuzahara is.
Yuzuri has stayed.
Yeah. Okay.
Magma stayed behind. I don't know. It is kind of hard to remember.
No, I think so. For the sake of the panel, right? I think everybody. This is the divider line. Mm-hmm. Everybody past that line, right? It's all on the ship. Like he's on the ship. He's on the ship. These people on the ship. These guys are on the ship, and then they're waving to her and the rest of them on the boat.
No, Magma's not with them.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know. It is kind of hard to remember who's on the ship and who's not. But
we're gonna find out.
Yeah,
we're
gonna find
soon
out
anyway. Yeah.
But in any case, they sail away, and their next destination is South America, the place where it all started thousands of years ago. The origin of the Petra beam. All right.
I forgot that it started in South America. I'm excited for the next step.
Yeah, this is a good chapter.
They wrapped it up. I'm not mad. At first, I was like, it's kind of weird how they just kind of figured this all out, but whatever. It makes sense, and moving on to the next thing. It's cool.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's just not the end.
What can I say?
I thought this was kind of like building to be like the last arc, but I guess they got one more thing to do in South America and figure out.
I think there's still other things to do.
I mean,
even aside from South America.
I thought it was going to be them like taking over Xeno's lab, building a spaceship, and going to the moon.
Oh, from there, from Coin City directly. Okay.
Them to be going other places as well, but it's interesting. I like it. But in any case, that was Dr. Stone. Very fun chapter. Can't wait for next week. It is time to randomize.
The champ is here!
Chainsaw Man.
Oh, shiz.
This is Chainsaw Man chapter 88, Star Chainsaw.
There's a very specific reason this chapter didn't get a RGC for me.
Whoa. Well, this got me one. But I guess I'll do that.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
I know why it didn't win you over. I think I have the distinct knowledge. And
I mean, it can be cured if something happens, but I don't think.
Well, I think it can be remedied. I think like there's more than we see, but I'll let you know.
I hope, man. I hope.
So we start off.
Not holding my breath though.
We're starting off in the building directly after Chainsaw Man just blasted through Quan Chi and the other Sword Devil, the two Sword Devils. Right on the floor beneath him is the Flamethrower Devil, who's just got both of his flamethrowers up in the air, and he just goes, "Burn for me, baby!" And he unleashes the fire, explosion. He gets sent flying, and that's when he gets like whipped by the Whip Devil. He kind of just turns, is like, "The fuck you think this is?" And then he is immediately just like blasted away before he can do anything to her by the Bomb Devil.
Yeah, which is weird. So, I'm going to just say it right now. It doesn't look like Reze's trying to fight him. It looks like she's literally taking him away from the situation. And what does the Chainsaw Devil do?
Just cuts her.
Cut her up in pieces.
Well, he doesn't have Denji's memories about it, so to him, it's just the Bomb Devil.
I know, but... God damn it.
Cuts her up.
I don't know. Was she trying to harm him? Because the other devil did say, blew them up and was, what was you gonna do? Bring them up to the sky and blow them up? The fuck?
Yeah, I would like to think that she was more sending the whip devil than anything, but maybe. I mean, that's what I also initially thought, that she was just like grabbing him away from the fight so they could talk for a minute. But I guess not. I guess they had other plans. So she's flying away, Chainsaw Man, and you cuts her up. Spear Devil's on the ground, just puts a spear right through his fucking chest. And Makima just like bang, 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 blasts him around, and sends him flying into space. And Makima's like, how long can Chainsaw Man hold his breath? That's when Chainsaw Man fucking just blasts into his own chest, rips out his heart, and baseball pitches it straight downward.
Launches that shit down, man.
I mean,
oh my god,
come on, dude.
And then regenerated from the heart that he threw. Left his other thing just riding out there, this just chainsaw body.
Yeah, and
just out in space.
As he's re-entering the stratosphere, he's like on fire. He's like gaining the fire like from the air friction.
So he's literally out regenerating the destructive force from the friction. Like that's not light, man. Wolverine would burn out, man, to his fucking skeleton. Yeah. Obviously, he'd regenerate after, but he's not gonna actively heal in that time. This guy is crazy.
And then once he gets once he gets back into the atmosphere, he like launches his chains off his chainsaw, grapples the other devils up, pulls them aside like
the remaining ones,
like a grab move, like a Link grab move in Smash Brothers. Just like
he uses tether, grabs them all, and just
and then just woo! 2-page spread ends the chapter, cutting straight in half through all of them, through the flamethrower devil,
all of them,
the spear devil,
and Makima is dead again.
Yes,
again. Yeah.
And that was
3 times. I've seen her die already.
Okay, so it's come to my attention. We were like, someone commented on our last Chainsaw Man video. I'll give you the shout out. He explained the way that devils work in terms of death. Regular devils can shift between hell and earth when they die. Hybrids, like these guys and Denji, they can't die as long as they're on Earth, as far as I know. Right? I hope I'm explaining that right. They're pretty much immortal, and I think he said something about fiends, but that's like the long and short of it. I'm gonna find the actual comment real fast.
Well, fiends are separate from devils anyway. Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I'm not worried about like the bomb devil thing, because like she's I guess she's.
Yeah, you think she's probably okay.
Right. So.
I mean, Makima was right. So why can't Reze be? I need reconciliation.
Yeah, he says devils move between.
I'm gonna pray.
Devils move between hell and earth. When they die, hybrids cannot die. They can always be revived unless Chainsaw Man decides to eat them. So, he gives the example of Quan Chi when the Darkest Devil, when Quan Chi got decapitated, but one of her girls pulled her trigger, she came back. So I think like they could just be resurrected if they're killed, as opposed to just regular devils where you kind of have to kill them in hell to come back. Thanks to Light Raven for that, by the way. Very much.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Good shit. Anytime, man. Anytime.
Yeah, wow. I mean, I just love the pure, like, crazy action.
Dude, the fighting was pretty dope in of itself. Man, the spear dude trying to check, man, he thought he got him. He's like, nigga, what?
I mean, this is just one of the most entertaining one-sided fights I've ever seen. It's not like this is even close. It's just
they all work.
Fun.
They tried so hard, man.
Yeah, they're all doing.
They didn't work together well, though. That was the problem.
And I'm just like, why a chainsaw is the strongest? It can beat a bomb at this point.
Dude, why not, man?
I mean, I love it. I'm not really questioning it. But,
and a flamethrower guy.
And flamethrower man. But that was.
And a katana. Huh.
Yeah, all of them. Man, Chainsaw Man's so cool. If anything, this series will just go down in history as being one of the coolest manga that ever existed.
I just wish he could be a Smash Bros. Character, man. He needs to be the next DLC, bro.
He'll just one-shot everyone.
I'd pay $100 for that. I would.
Who wouldn't?
I
Honestly?
would.
Just
I would
one-shot.
whore my wallet out to Nintendo for that. Easily.
I feel like it's a little too metal for a Nintendo game.
Bayonetta's in it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's like, but
Bayonetta isn't that metal,
She's pretty fucking metal, bro.
but she's not.
literally naked.
She's not Chainsaw Man metal, dude.
All her clothing that you think you see is actually just hair.
Oh,
You know that?
No, I didn't know that.
I know.
When she uses her attacks, she gets naked.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty metal.
Nice.
But not.
Definitely promiscuous.
But not rip out your heart in space, spike it down to Earth metal.
Nobody's on that level, bro. Nigga, Kiss the whole. I don't even know any metal bands, so I'm not gonna act like it. But how motherfucking yeah, Chainsaw Man was really dope. I just was kind of salty over
About
the
being
Reze
Bongo.
situation.
I mean, who knows? Maybe like next chapters he'll be like, "Can you relax?" and then actually take him away, and they'll have a heartfelt conversation. And you can finally have the ship.
Like, yeah, where's Denji at? Is he in there somewhere?
He is because, like,
So
I guess because the Chainsaw Man was acting on his impulses, right? Like,
imagine she's like, "Please wait, stop chainsawing people," and then just swat, just head
He's like-
off.
he's like, "I wanted a hamburger." Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, yeah, I think Denji's still in there. That would be weird for that to not be the case. Anyway.
Yeah, I have no idea how it's gonna
Yeah.
end, but
Yeah.
man, such a great series, such a great chapter. And that has been our show, everybody. Thank you guys so much for listening. I think I got rid of the theme song. Damn it. Anyway, guys, stall for me. Say things before I get the
Words. This was a fun week. Exercise
just-
was popping.
I'm
You
just
need to
excited
read
for One Piece to
Exorcist,
come
Brian.
back.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm
me
reading
too.
it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
This was a fun show. Thank you guys so much for listening. And you guys are right. Next week should be a very fun week, honestly. We have One Piece back. I don't think we have any abstentions from the manga. So, and plus, I think we have our monthlies next week as well. So, can't miss week next week. But for now, you can find me at the Chris Espinal, at JDCole_37, at b.esp on Instagrams and the Twitters. You can find Brian on Twitch for his gaming streams at twitch.tv/it's punchline. Links in the description of the audio version of the podcast if you just want to click on that, subscribe to that, or whatever you Twitch people do. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want to talk about. Comment below, like us, subscribe us, do the thing. We're trying to rebuild our channel from what it used to be. It'd be very nice to have your help. But until then, thank you guys so much for listening. See you next week, and stay safe, New Jump citizens.